Oh, that's great. Hello, everybody. What is today? Today is Tuesday. Oh, no, I think I have to sneeze. Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's really funny. It's really funny watching her almost sneeze on here while she's really sneezing in real life.
Rude. Cool. Whatever. So how are we doing today?
Kind of cut me off.
Oh, were you?
No, like the camera.
Oh, but it's focusing on me. You can... I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm just kidding.
That's fine.
I'm just kidding. I can't help myself.
I'll just go over there.
Whatever. Is that better? Is that better? Hello, everyone. Let's see. Thank you, John. He said bless you.
We got a lot of bless yous.
Jarrett, Michael, hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I feel like we're talking to you, but this is interesting.
How are you guys?
You want to tell us about your morning, Michael?
Are we good?
I don't know.
We're good.
Tell us about your morning.
My morning was great.
Today was leg day.
Yeah, we did squats and stuff. We ran around the block.
I should hold.
Our block is round. It's kind of like running around a racetrack.
In a sense.
It's it's got to be a 3/8 mile because we get it adds up to about 3/4 of a mile when we do 2 laps.
So that would be 3/8.
So it's like we got a 3/8 mile track.
Okay.
In front of our house.
We really gotta get a go-kart. My amusement.
It's a back street, so nobody's on it when we're running.
My amusement to our run every morning is that for those that know, I have, at home, a boxer named Speedy. And every time we run in the morning, there's another boxer. And I just really want to stop and pet him and love him and everything. But I don't know. I feel like with everything going on, are the people going to be like, don't touch my dog. You might have the virus. Can dogs catch the virus? I don't know.
So what'd you do after our workout?
After our workout, I launched someone's business this morning, which went really, really well. She's actually from Canada, so that she has the cutest accent. I love it. I just have a Jersey accent. I don't even think there is an accent to it.
There's an accent.
It's not cute though. So
tell her, guys.
Is there a Jersey accent? I know when I used to go out west, people would say like there's a difference between fireflies and lightning bugs. What do you call them?
Both.
Pick. I call them lightning bugs.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. There's another one.
But I would go with firefly. That's fine.
You know what's funny is you make fun of me for saying
Woodard.
Okay.
It's Woodard. You can't say
Woodard or water. I mean, I feel like there's something that we accentuate. Is it okay? Like, okay. I know you make fun of me for saying okay, but I know from New Yorkers to Jersey people.
It was okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
There's a lot of O in there.
New Yorkers, I remember when I first started talking to even knew New York existed. I don't think you do it as bad, but say tire.
Tire.
Yeah, you don't do it. But I've met other New Yorkers that it's like tire.
Tire?
Like there's a Y in tire.
No.
No.
Unless it's a Toyo.
And
there's a Y in there. Or McCreary, there's a Y in there.
Oh wait, there's actual questions. Sorry, we're rambling on accents here. So I'm gonna invest in
somebody asked why
a phone holder.
I remember somebody asked why does your dad
yeah, that's what I was just gonna answer.
Paint his cars instead of vinyl.
So actually there's a lot of reasons to it. One, vinyl does weigh. Like it's not a whole lot, but it does add weight to the car.
Save 2 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, 2 pounds, whatever. So the weight, it's a lot less expensive. And the artist comes to the race shop instead of having to do what we did is drive 4 hours to go drop off body panels.
Yeah, that's really...
it's convenient.
Getting the body ready to take and then taking it there and then coming home and then having to go pick it up and then bring it back and then put it back on the car. Meanwhile, his is on his car. They paint it.
The guy comes
and it stays on the car.
Yeah.
It's a really easy process that way.
Yeah. And Dad trusts the guy, comes and does it. And
then Mandee goes and puts the contingency decals on the bottom and it's all done.
Yeah. Easy as that. Easy as that. Oh, look at the oven's ready.
Lunch is ready.
Okay,
Let's hurry up, guys. I want to eat. So the rest of my morning, we didn't get to finish.
sorry.
We worked in the shop. We did some. We installed the axles in the rear end, Jenny.
We did that already.
No,
we didn't.
We didn't.
We didn't.
Put the axles in.
You did something on Jenny and we didn't videotape it?
I know. Sorry. Drive flanges. Put the gears in. Put the bulldog blood in.
You did the gears too? We were supposed to do a video of the gears.
We can change gears again.
Okay, continue. Sorry. You did a lot on Jenny this morning. I'm just surprised.
I mean, that didn't take that long, but it's all in the details, making sure that everything's greased when you reassemble it, especially when it's new. Everything's dry, drilling stuff for safety wire, all that. But went through way too many drill bits because it's just hard to drill the bolts.
I feel like we're in a chain forest or something. I'm like,
yeah, we got this. This is right in the way.
At least it's not in my hair this time.
I don't know why I put that there.
If I was
Believe it or not,
it looks good. It looks.
I was jokingly. I was like, "Hey, Mandee, I'm going to put this here. This will be funny." And then I thought she would move it.
Actually,
she didn't move it.
Actually, yes.
She always moves everything. Wherever I put it, she's got to move it somewhere else.
Oh wait, yes. Speaking of, Darren Wolf said Mike, you did a good job of making the show last night.
Oh yeah, thanks. I made the A main finally in the World Outlaws.
Finally. Yes.
So started 12th in the B main, got up to 6th when they took 7, and had a good battle with Chris Heil. So I think we had Larry White, Chris Heil, me, and I think Max McLaughlin.
Oh, Larry came back. He didn't just throw the towel in after the first.
Yeah, he came back. He had a battle with Scott Bloomquist in the D main. He got into it.
Bloomquist?
Yeah, actually, Scott Bloomquist is racing these. There's stuff on the news and everything. They got together and Scott got the transfer spot. But
tell me, Larry was on the outside.
No, he was on the inside.
Seriously, that's why.
At Knoxville.
He's the outside guy.
But then when I got to the A main, there was a lot of I don't know what do you call it when everybody's just kind of running each other over.
Mayhem?
Yeah, it was mayhem. Complete mayhem in the back. Now, if you watch the highlights, the racing in the top 7 or 8 was awesome.
Yeah.
A great race to the finish, which I had no part in because I was in the back in 18th.
Oh,
I started
the highlights.
I started 21st, and I got up to 17th or something, and then it was two guys smash into each other on the straightaway, and you're like, boom, and you drive up underneath them. And
didn't you flip and keep going?
Yeah, that was after that. Then I had somebody pull a slider and stuffed me in the fence, and then I got back and flipped on the straightaway a couple times and landed on the wheels and kept going because I was hoping a caution would come out, and then you can go in the pits and you can hit quick repair and you go right back out with a brand new car. It's great, but
I fully read that easy.
So then, that was frustrating, but at least I made the A main. Pretty excited about that.
Well, wasn't it yesterday when we're like, oh, it's Wednesday, and then right after this, you're like, oh.
So next for iRacing, this weekend, I don't have all the details yet, but I guess Dirt Track Digest is going to put on Knoxville Nationals. There's going to be qualifying Thursday and Friday, and then a race Saturday with 410s in Knoxville.
So a few people have actually said that you have a New York accent.
Probably.
Thank you. John Doe.
That is where I'm
hitting us up with the questions. Oh, good job, babe.
John Doe with more. He's got solid questions.
He's thinking ahead here. During a race, have you ever wished you had hit the restroom one more time?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Many times.
Really?
No, luckily I haven't had any accidents or anything, but there's definitely that time where you're in the lineup and it's like, man, I wish I had time to go.
Yeah. Just
one more time.
Yeah, but I feel like once you get out there, it just goes away.
Which becomes a ritual. I think this is the same for most people. I think before you get in the car, you got to go to the bathroom because you don't know when the next time you're going to get to go.
Grandview, when Billy was racing Grandview, I think it was when he was racing Grandview Weekly years ago, he actually got a bloody nose while racing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sick and like had to sneeze. It's awful. In your helmet,
you don't think about that. Yeah, you don't think about that.
Yeah, that stuff's awful. But
Mm-mm.
and then I'm so cheap that I haven't bought a new helmet in like 5 years. So
promise. Lovely. So Dave, let's see, Mahusky from Knoxville. Hello, Dave. We still have to give Mike a nickname, Ray. I agree. There have been people that been saying
the Adirondack Assassin.
Yeah, I like it, but you're not really technically like from Adirondack.
Well, I think during
it could fit
this portion of my life right now, where we're racing out of the Adirondacks, it would work.
But I feel like you need a nickname that you can take with you everywhere.
Okay.
I'm just saying. We could put it on a t-shirt. I like that. Whoever came up with that, I'm good with it. But like, I want a full-time nickname. Like, my brother was blessed with the kid's kid. He's screwed. he's forever with that.
KK.
Yeah, and my
So
nephew's
it's got to be something with an M.
My nephew's gonna be the KKK.
Oh.
Yeah. So hopefully.
That's a little dangerous.
That's why when he was born, we just already gave him the nickname of BP3. He has no other options.
Yeah, that's
like,
better.
Born, the child's not even racing. He has a nickname. It's fine.
Jeff says it looks like we're sitting in a doctor's office.
Really?
And he said, "How can you get some Mahane swag?"
All right, did you jump down the questions?
Do you have an address? The address is MikeMahaneyRacing.com, and we have some apparel on there.
Like,
right now, you got large, extra large, and 2X.
Yeah.
Everything else is sold out till we get the reorder. But if you fit those sizes, get them while they last, because there isn't a whole lot left.
Ty Garl, how you doing, dude? Said he hopes to race against you soon on iRacing. Mike, there was a question. James asked, Mike, what is your thoughts on racing without fans in the stands? William Grove is thinking of doing it. Really? Will they be able to have enough for payout or get enough cars?
Here's what I think. There will be, if they do that, there'll be a much higher attendance on the online version.
No doubt.
To supplement some of it. Do I think that it'll make up for everything? No. But I don't know. It's worth a try, right? I mean, you got this facility, and you need some sort of income. You're already paying bills on it.
There's no way you can legally do that, though. Like, you can't have gatherings over a certain amount, and the drivers need crew.
I think he's saying if they can get away with that.
Oh, yeah.
If they can get away with that with no fans, can we do it?
If you charge the same amount, if you want to watch online, charge the same amount, that would
honestly,
kind of compensate.
I've heard a lot of complaints about, like, the iRacing. How do you charge that much money for a sim race? It's like $10.
Another bug.
It's pretty cheap.
He's upside down.
And he's having a hard time down there. And I would be willing to pay more. I would be willing to pay more money to watch these races.
Did you just come up with a Flow Sports account?
Yeah, I just paid $150 for that.
Are you serious?
For the whole year.
Okay.
Because I want to be able to, like, watch the races on there.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm. I understand not everybody can afford it, but I think a lot of people are not. It's not that they can't afford it; they're just disgusted by the price. But I mean, come on, it's worth it.
Yeah, so money. Yeah, depending on what your situation is right now with the COVID, but a lot of us are, in a sense, saving money because we're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, you don't have to go out. You don't have to pay expensive prices for the concessions. You're just eating on your couch and watching it on your big screen, because you can play it on your phone and then you hit the little button to project it on your smart TV, and it's great.
Yeah. So Darren Wolf asked if Mike watches all of my videos. You do. I'm
in some of them, so I don't have to watch those because I already know what happens.
Yep.
And then the other ones I do. I watch them. Like when she's away and she does the videos with her dad and her brother, I always watch them because honestly, she's so busy making the videos that we don't really communicate much. And it's like the only way I have any idea, like,
what she did.
What are you up to?
Yes.
What happened down there?
So your way of connection is the same for Mike.
Who won the race?
Yeah. Oh my god.
So,
okay.
So then I feel like, yeah, I gotta watch.
Yeah, you do. He's a good supporter. And Jacoby says majestic, Mike Mahaney.
Majestic.
Majestic. Most people call you.
Mike. When I had Legos as a kid, I always liked the knights and the dragons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds very majestic.
Okay, the magic shoe because your dad was the work shoe.
Mm-hmm.
They just like magic.
Magic.
Yeah, there was a wizard on his shirt. Was that 2-3 years ago?
She just doesn't think I'm good enough to be like Magic Mike.
If you've seen the movie, I mean, Mike's okay at dancing. There's the okay.
We both agree that I have more rhythm than you do.
Whatever.
In our latest video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that going up soon?
Well, they just got the ones that are part of our YouTube membership. They got the video already on Jenny. But if you're not part of our little membership, you will get Jenny tonight. And then our next fun one is us finding out how well we actually know each other.
Great.
Yes. So that should be interesting.
Then we got Medieval Mike. And then Ferg says I could grow a majestic mullet too. I don't think I could compete with Rico's. I mean,
yeah.
He gets it done.
He started it. So, I mean, he didn't start it, but he's been really, really rocking it pretty hardcore. It's kind of hard to copy off that. Let's see. Mike C, is there typically I'm assuming it's big, a big difference year to year with new chassis? If so, what would they be?
So this year with the Bicknell, they stopped putting the torsion racks in them because you don't need it anymore because most everybody's running coils now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not everybody, but like if you don't want a torsion rack, you don't have to get one. So it kind of saves some weight.
But they do.
So that's the big change this year.
They do try to keep them, in a sense, like similar, at least for body wise.
The rest of it's all very similar because they're trying to keep the cars consistent because they're running well. Now, if your chassis company is not winning a lot of races, then they're trying to make changes to make them better. So they are making huge changes. Somebody just mentioned, can I buy my way into any of these races Wednesday or the Nationals? What do you think about buy-ins for iRacing?
That's like, okay, no offense to whomever asked this. I don't know your skill set. But that's like having a 16-year-old buy his way into like the Knoxville Nationals.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I mean, there's no excuses.
That's defeating the purpose of being able to race. Like that's like giving everyone a trophy. You did good, you did good, you did good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to use your skills to qualify, to race, to be
sure. But then they don't have cautions in the heats and somebody smashes you in the fence and it's all over because you don't even get a restart.
Well, that's just life.
It's just the way it goes.
That's just
pretty
life.
Frustrating. Racing is tough.
It is. I mean, when I imagine, does iRacing do provisionals? What?
They do. They tried doing provisionals. So the other day they tried doing provisionals and the computer already calculates like who qualified and who didn't, and they couldn't put the provisionals in because they couldn't override the computer. It was great. It was really funny. Mm-hmm. Here we got manipulative, Mike.
Manipulative? That's manipulative, Mandee, not Mike.
Oh, man.
Mike wants to know, have you ever run late model or 410 sprint?
Yes, and yes.
Yes, and yes.
Did pretty well in the 410 sprint. With Doug Emery, we had some success there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had like 3 top 10s out of 5.
Yeah, you guys did really well with 410.
And the late model, I got to run Brad Messler's late model at McKean and Freedom, and we didn't complete the races. We had a control arm brake in one and an electrical issue in the other, so I didn't finish.
Yeah.
So I didn't get much of a chance at the late model, but It was fun.
Yeah.
Well, it lasted. Yeah.
I will say, sorry, Mike. He said that was his fourth time he asked. With these lives, we kind of get the same questions every day, so we're trying to spread it out. So
yeah, I'll repeat answers here and there, but sometimes we skip your questions just because we've had them. Like we just had that question yesterday, kind of thing.
Yeah. Ooh, Mike Falcon. Speaking of weight requirements, is weight requirements the same at all tracks you compete?
No, they're different everywhere, and it's really tough to keep track of. You got to look at the competitor notes come out. And the competitors know, like, this is what's going on with the engines and the weights and all that stuff. And then the fans don't really know. So I would like to see the promoters kind of explaining this to the fans a little better of what's going on with the cars and maybe making it known, like, this is a small block. This is a big block. Like, put a piece of tape on the car or something that shows who's running what. Mm-hmm. It might make it more exciting because – like we all know, we all pay attention in the pits, but everybody else doesn't get that satisfaction.
They're like, "How's that guy so dominant?"
Ripping the fans off of that aspect of the racing. But yes, every track has different weight rules for whether you're running a small block or a big block or a W16 or a spec small block or an open small block or blah blah blah. So it's always different. And you got to pay attention.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite food and least favorite food?
Least favorite food is pickles.
Fish.
I hate them.
Hate fish.
That's weird. I love fish. Fish, I could probably put fish as my favorite food.
I just want to cry.
Or onions.
So
she hates them.
If you have children.
Yeah, she loves pickles. I hate pickles.
If you have children, remember, like, what they learn and go through now really sets them up for the rest of their lives. If you're not aware of that, I'm sure you are. Like, hello.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was younger, my grandmother, my father's mother, in order for me to, like, I'd be at her house, in order for me to do the things that I wanted to do, because she was very artistic. So every time I went to her house, I'd want to paint stuff. And she says, well, in order for you to paint, you have to eat your meal. And every freaking time it seemed like it was always fish. And I'd have to stuff it down and I'd chug it down and chase it with water or soda or iced tea. And ever since then, I just do not like fish. I can't stand the smell of it, the look of it, the taste of it, how you cook it, how it peels apart. But my favorite, what's your favorite food?
My favorite is ravioli.
Something spaghetti. You can go around with Italian.
Yeah, ravioli.
Ravioli, really? I would do spaghetti all day, every day.
Actually, my absolute favorite is my mom's tuna noodle.
I was just saying mom's lasagna.
Yeah.
Mom's tuna noodle. Nope.
That's awesome stuff.
It looks good, but I wouldn't eat it. If it were a chicken noodle, I would eat it. But tuna. What else we got?
We got a good question here.
We do.
Well, this isn't really a question, it's a statement. Nick Marco says it would be great if they were able to have cutaway cars to show the differences. Now, what's funny is they used to have those. Like at Super Dirt Week, they'd have a cutaway car. But what's funny is it was always some like outdated car. They'd have like a car from 1995 that's cut in half that looks nothing like the cars we're actually racing.
Isn't it?
I mean, to me anyway.
Was it Troyer that had that for the longest time in their booth?
Those were up to date, yes. So like at the Northeast trade show,
motorsport shows, yeah.
Those shows they'll have cutaway cars, which is cool. But I'm talking at the racetrack.
I mean,
it'd be cool for the manufacturers, like to display their stuff to the fans. Mm-hmm. I mean, it'd kind of be up to them because who else is going to spend the money to have that there? And for them, they get the benefit of people looking at their stuff, going, "Ooh, I want one of those," you know.
Yeah, and that kind of goes off of Peter's question. Why would all tracks not work together and establish the same weight rule between big blocks and small blocks?
Why not?
Why not?
Why do we go to war? Why do we fight? Nobody can get along in this world. Everybody's got to. Why does she like pickles and I like fish? I don't know. Just can't come to an agreement. It's really frustrating. I know that.
Like in this sport, unless you find really, really good wholehearted people that run stuff, everyone's out for themselves.
Yeah,
it's the driver or
and
this is
not
nice to say.
100%, but yeah, like I mean, the teams that are racing have to try to survive, so they gotta do what they gotta do to try to win, and the track's gotta try to survive, so they gotta do what they gotta do to try to make money.
Yeah,
so they're not always out for what's best for the racer.
Yeah, but then there's like, let's say 2 different Saturday night tracks, both racing the same night. Do you really think they're going to support one another?
Mm-hmm.
So
they oftentimes butt heads and have different rules and stuff because they think, well, we're going to get these guys to come here and they won't go there because they won't have the right equipment to go there. Which then me as the racer goes, I'm just going to buy another car and another motor and cost myself more money, but it's all right.
I think it was correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like in the 90s that, was it the 90s or early 2000s when, at least down in PA and Jersey, maybe Delaware, the tracks all actually work together. Like I know for some events we try to be like, hey, if you bring this wristband from this event, then you'll get like $5 off something that they somewhat work together. But I do like mac and cheese too, Mike. Mac and cheese is definitely Velveeta mac and cheese is the bomb. Mike, on the other hand, does not like Velveeta mac and cheese. I'll eat anything with cheese as long as it's not fish.
Now that I actually read Peter's question, he said, "Why would they not establish the same weight rule between big block and small block?"
That's what I
said. The real reason between the actual big block and small block, they run the small blocks lighter so that they can keep up with the horsepower of the big blocks. The problem is depending on the night, like if it's slippery, they end up better because they're lighter. So you don't need the horsepower.
Yep.
So it all depends on the conditions, which one is better. So then the competitor needs both, and that ends up more expensive.
Yep, makes sense.
Because they need tonight I need a small block, and then next week I'm going to need the big block because it's going to rain.
Yeah. All right, this is a cute name. Prometheus Cat. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but it's cute. My memory of anime flipping out of turn 4 in Bill's Cart Flemington Powder Puff. Do they still powder puff? Do they still do powder puffs? She won all the time. She won more races than Roy. So Anna's my grandma. Roy's my grandfather. She did win more races than him. She's pretty awesome. Oh, well, she is. She's still alive. She's awesome. Actually, I will gladly tell everyone that she ruined it for me because ever since she totaled my dad's car at Flemington for a powder puff race, my father would never let me get into his race car. Never let any female get into his race car. Mom wouldn't do it, so therefore it's just me. So I have done powder puff races, which is fine, but it was very weird that I would bring my own race car to a powder puff event. Like at New Egypt, there would be girls getting into cars that just got done racing, and here I am rolling out a car that I brought just for this 10-lap race. But whatever, it's fine.
Come prepared,
I came prepared. It's so cool. Ooh, John Mills. What is the most difficult change you have to make at the track? The one you don't want to do but feel you have to. I mean, you really can't. We're not like sprint cars where you can change your motor within 20 minutes, but could you potentially do that?
No,
I didn't think so.
It's too much like tin work around them, and none of our stuff has like the quick disconnects like they have. And I mean, it would be ridiculously expensive to make it so that was an option.
It's awesome.
It's almost cheaper just to have
another car.
The backup car to pull out.
But it is cool, when did the bug get closer to you?
Yeah, pushing them away.
No, we have bug problems apparently.
No, we don't. We just have one bug.
Well, I understand.
One bug is not a bug problem.
These bugs are so different looking. It's wherever you live, it's weird. Okay, so anyway, I think it's awesome when you go to sprint car races and you see them roll the car up into the trailer, they drop the engine in, roll the car out, and it's like nothing ever happened.
Yep.
But yeah, you definitely can.
One of the most difficult changes that we used to have with modifieds was torsion bars. Because with a sprint car, you just slide them in, put the stops on, and like set the tension with your fingers. With a modified, you have to like wind the turns in like 9 times past with a torsion bar to get your ride height, and then they would be inconsistent and it would be off, whatever. So nobody really did that at the track. But with the coils, it's much easier to change a spring.
Yeah. Jordan Cox, darling, you missed it. We spoke about you and your father yesterday. Must have been very important that you weren't here, so it's okay. But yes. So John Doe, do you see much wildlife in them there Adirondack Mountains? I saw
them there.
In them there. I saw my first coyote. I don't know. Those dog-looking things.
What's cool
I
is
see
like
foxes all the time at home.
Sometimes, like on a Saturday morning, get up early and be really quiet morning where there's not a lot of wind or it's not rainy or anything, and there's this calmness, and there'll be deer everywhere, like up on the hill and over across the street and in the neighbor's yard. And you walk outside and they just scatter.
The one morning, I think it was this weekend, you were still sleeping. I walked downstairs and I cut up an apple and I went to put it outside for him, and they they saw me at the door, were walking towards me. I'm like, okay, maybe they're friendly, maybe they like humans, which I'm kind of like on the fence about that kind of thing. So I opened the door and they bolted. They were gone. So.
If you follow Mandee on Instagram, you get to see her feeding all the animals. She's got a bird feeder out there, and she feeds the chipmunk with a bowl. And she's got apples for the deer. She just loves animals.
Until a bear comes, I'm undecided about that one too. I haven't seen them yet. I have not seen a bear in the wildlife. Have you?
I have not. No. Only at the zoo.
Yeah, same.
So, James Brown says, "Do y'all have a speed week of racing? We have Super Dirt Week. What is it? October?
First week in October.
Yeah, it's at Oswego, and when we go from Oswego to qualify, and then at night we'll go to satellite shows to other tracks that are nearby, like Weed Sport, Utica Rome, Brewerton, Weed Sport. I already said Weed Sport, didn't I?
Yeah.
So there's racing every day of the week for Super Dirt Week.
That's nuts. During the day and at night.
Yep.
I mean, July is usually our biggest. That's like a speed month.
Yeah, that's when I think ESS does their sprint week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In July. There's all kinds of stuff like that.
So Justin asked, should tracks leave the rules up to the series and tours when they have come to their town? I know that ACT Tour runs their own rules no matter where they race. Pretty sure.
Yes and no. I mean, if they have tracks like to keep their rules for their regulars. So when the touring invaders come in, they're not giving them the advantage, and the regulars don't show up. So that's what's tough, is they don't want to change their rules for them. True. But a lot of times the sanctioning bodies are put their foot down and say, hey, we ought to run our normal rules for this race because we're racing for series points.
There have been races where it's like your weekly track and it's a points race, and they change the rules because someone else comes into town.
That sounds like a New Jersey thing.
It is.
That doesn't happen up here.
Yeah. That's happened.
Which makes it so your weekly competitors have to have multiple cars and packages.
It should be equal, but when I don't know, that's kind of tough. But it would also be tough for those that are traveling if they're constantly having to change every race they go to, instead of the locals having to change just for one night. Correct?
Yeah. John Doe asked, do you welcome helping hands to volunteers at various tracks? So this is a tough question, because there are times where I've shown up where it's like me and all my friends, nobody came with me to help. So I was very welcoming of anybody that could, hand me a wrench or something. At those times, yes. Other times, when you have your guys that know what they're doing, they know their process and everything, it's really easier if you kind of leave us alone. to do our thing because you're kind of just getting in the way.
Yeah.
Not to be mean or anything,
Yeah.
but like, you got your program down and everybody's doing their thing, and
If you,
somebody jumping in to help doesn't know the program, and it's.
I feel like
not
if you
helpful.
do want to lend a hand at the tracks, go early and talk to the driver.
Yeah, and ask politely.
Yeah.
And you could potentially, and if you know what you're doing, and if you sit and study and watch what's going on and learn what to do, and you know what you're doing, then they'll probably ask you to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Shane, let's go with Shane's question. We'll close up.
All right. Why do some cars race around with their front tires off the ground in corners and others don't? Advantage, disadvantage. That's a tough one. It all depends on the class, I think. I mean, for instance, a midget or a wingless sprint car would run around with the front tires off the ground because they basically drive off the throttle, and the rear tires are doing most of the work the whole way around the track. Now, with like a late model, the cars, all four tires are kind of in the track and the thing's hiked up using all four around the whole track. And then old school, they're modified. The left front would be up in the air, right rear down. But now we've got more of the late model stance and a winged sprint car is down on the left rear and all four tires are in the track and it's balanced. With a balanced setup, the car is much easier to drive from the seat, but it's depending on the package, like the design of the car and the rules package and everything. It's not always the fastest to have all four tires on the ground.
It looks cooler when it's all hiked up.
Yeah, and sometimes it looks cool with the left front tire in the air, but it's not always the fastest.
Yeah.
So
it's always I like to laugh at this. It's always the most wicked, awesome looking pictures. They look so cool. And Mike's like, yeah, I was so bad right there.
Yeah, that was a horrible car.
Yeah, it looks terrible. But
man, I'm glad they got that photo.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite shots, I think it was Dave Pratt took at it was one of the Delaware tracks, and Dad had it was so weird. Did you race? I think it was Delaware. Did you ever race Delaware when the U tires were actually like in the ground?
See, there's the thing. Yeah, I didn't, but they used to have them at Brewerton like that, and a lot of people would set their cars up to run the bottom with the left front up in the air, so you could get closer to the bottom.
There's such a cool picture that Dad must have just clipped one of them, and his car was basically just on the right rear. I'm like, it looks so cool, and he was so pissed. But that's cool. So yeah, that's a fun fact to know. When the cars look cool,
I-88's like that, buried tires. So I always have my left front up in the air a little bit, try to run the bottom.
So coming close to say thank you, guys. Let's see. Sweet. Okay, so we will be back tomorrow and the next day at 12:15. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Anything you'd like to add, sir? It's time for lunch.
No.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
See ya.